Some old friends stopped celebrating you the moment you moved ahead. They didn't leave. They started testing you. The tests are quiet, disguised as jokes, questions, favors, small comments meant to measure how much you changed. By the end, you'll see every test clearly, understand what they're really checking, and know exactly how to pass without shrinking. The first test is the memory test. They bring up an embarrassing old story right when you're being respected in the room. They laugh while watching your face. They're checking if the new version of you still flinches at the old version. The second test is a loyalty check. Suddenly they need a favor, a ride, a loan, right after you shared something good. It's rarely urgent. They want to see if success made you different, meaning less available, so they can label you. Watch the timing. Tests almost always land within days of a win, a post, a promotion, a new relationship, a visible shift. That timing isn't coincidence. Your movement disturbs something in them, and testing is how insecurity gathers evidence quietly. The third test is the humility trap. They compliment you strangely, then wait to see if you agree too fast. If you accept the compliment cleanly, you're arrogant now. If you deflect, they relax. They wanted you smaller. The fourth test is the information pull. They ask detailed questions about your income, your plans, your partner, your schedule. It sounds like interest. It's inventory. They're measuring the exact distance between your life and theirs. You don't owe anyone a spreadsheet of your progress. Vague answers aren't rude. They're the correct response to disguised auditing. Try this line inside your head, then out loud, calmly. It's going well, thanks. Then stop talking. Let silence do work. The fifth test is the group test. They mention your name in the group chat with a subtle jab attached. They watch you laugh. They watch if you defend yourself. Overreacting fails the test. Under-responding passes it. A clean response works every time. Interesting you bring that up. Nothing more. The group feels the shift instantly. The sixth test is the availability test. They cancel last minute, twice, to see if you still chase the friendship. Chasing tells them you're the same, still needing their approval. Not chasing tells them you actually moved. Both answers cost you. Choose the answer that matches your real life. If they matter, reach once. If they don't, let the calendar breathe. The seventh test is the opinion trap. They ask what you think about something risky, hoping you'll say something quotable later. Old friends who become quiet competitors collect sentences. Give them fewer sentences to collect. Ambiguity is a legitimate answer. The eighth test is the mirror test. They copy something you did badly, then wait for your reaction to their version. If you praise them, they relax. If you stay neutral, they resent it. Your neutrality is not cruelty, it's accuracy. The ninth test is the past self summon. They call you a nickname from years ago, one tied to a smaller identity. Nicknames are anchors. They're trying to pull the new you back into the shape the old friendship required. You don't have to correct them loudly. You just stop responding to that name. The anchor loses grip through quiet refusal. The 10th test is the crisis test. Something dramatic happens in their life, exactly when your life is stabilizing beautifully. You'll feel pulled to abandon your peace and rush in. Sometimes the crisis is real. Sometimes it's a leash disguised as need. Learn the difference by watching the pattern. Real crises don't always land the week you posted your win. Has an old friend done one of these tests to you recently? Drop the specific move in the comments below. Your example might be the exact one another person needed to finally recognize the pattern in their own life. We read every comment on this channel because the stories reveal tests we haven't named yet. Keep them coming. Now back to it, because the deeper tests are the ones that don't feel like tests at all. The 11th test is the silence test. They stop initiating completely, waiting to see how long before you notice or fold. If you reach out, they feel powerful again. If you don't, they tell mutual friends you got distant after succeeding. There's no clean win here, so stop playing. Reach out only when you actually want to, never to pass their exam. The 12th test is the +1 test. They meet your new partner, your new colleague, your new circle, and go strangely cold. Then they say something small later. They seem nice, I guess. That, I guess, is the whole test in 2 words. The 13th test is the advice trap. They ask for your advice, ignore it, then blame you when things go wrong. They didn't want advice. They wanted proof that your new perspective doesn't actually work outside your own lucky life. Stop giving detailed advice to people who test you with it. I'm not sure, honestly. Protect your insight from being weaponized. The 14th test is the reunion test. They suggest meeting up somewhere tied to who you used to be together. The old bar, the old apartment, the old routine. They want to see if the setting pulls the old you out. Go if you want the memory. Don't go expecting the friendship to update. Nostalgia is not the same as connection. The 15th test is the joke test. They say something cutting, then add, "I'm just kidding," while watching your face closely. The joke is the payload. The disclaimer is the shield. You're allowed to respond only to the payload. That didn't land. 5 words, no anger, no lecture, no follow-up. The joke test dies when it stops getting a reaction. The 16th test is the introduction test. They introduce you to someone new using an outdated description of your life. "This is my friend, they do that thing. The thing you stopped doing 2 years ago. They know. They chose it." Correct it once, calmly and briefly. "Actually, I moved into something else now." Then move on. Repetition would give them the reaction. The 17th test is the celebration delay. You share good news and they respond 3 days later with a flat emoji. The delay is the message. The emoji is plausible deniability. You're not imagining the temperature drop. You're reading it correctly. The 18th test is the competitor introduction. They start mentioning another friend's wins to you, often and specifically. They're not sharing news. They're measuring your face. They want to see if NB shows up on you the way it does on them. Respond with genuine warmth for the other person, brief and clean. That's great for them. Then change the subject completely. The 19th test is a return test. After distance, they reappear right when your life looks most enviable from outside. They didn't miss you. They noticed you. There's a difference, and the difference determines whether the reunion is real or reconnaissance. Ask yourself a quiet question before responding. Would they be here if my life still looked like it did before? The 20th test is the smallness invitation. They plan something that requires the old, smaller version of you to attend fully. The chaotic night out, the messy group dynamic, the drama-heavy trip. Your absence tells them you've genuinely changed. Your presence tells them nothing did. You don't have to explain your no. I can't make that one. Full sentence. Full stop. Guilt is optional here. Here's the reframe that changes everything about these tests forever. You are not required to keep proving you're still the same person. You are allowed to be a moving target. Old friends who need you frozen aren't friends. They're witnesses to a version you outgrew. The tests aren't really about you. They're about their fear that if you could move, they were never stuck, just unwilling. That fear is heavy. It's not yours to carry. Set it down every time it gets handed to you in the shape of the test. Some old friendships survive your growth. Those friends ask real questions and celebrate cleanly. You'll feel the difference in your body. The other ones test, measure, joke, delay, pull, let them. Watch quietly. Stop auditioning for a role you already graduated from. You don't have to end these friendships in a dramatic conversation. You end them by no longer performing for the test. The friendship either updates to meet the new you, or it fades on its own. Both outcomes are honest. Both are okay. Here's a your tool for this week. Pick one recent test, name it out loud, then decide on paper how you respond next time. Naming the test removes its power. Deciding your response in advance removes the emotional ambush. Preparation is the quietest form of self-respect. Which test hit closest to home for you? Drop the number in the comments so others can find their own pattern faster. If this decoded something you've been feeling for months, subscribe and turn on the bell so the next decode reaches you. Share this with a friend who's been quietly moving ahead and getting tested for it. They need to hear it named too. Old friends who test you already know you moved. They're just deciding whether to admit it out loud or in silence. You don't have to answer their tests. You already passed the moment you stopped needing them to approve of your rise.